Budweiser 9 times after that Super Bowl win. Remember that one? I'm like, Peyton, you don't drink, man. The world thinks you don't drink. Quit saying Budweiser.
Jesus, and you're saying
Yeah.
you didn't say much on it, but you need only toward 14 players.
Yeah.
What's kind of going on?
Well, clearly we need 3 starters, and I'll go ahead and announce it's going to be Pfaadt, Gallen, Kelly for the series. And then in back of that, we feel very strongly that 9 pitchers there in the bullpen will give us the flexibility we need, and then to be as dynamic as we possibly can with some versatile at-bats, versatile defensive changes, adjustments, and then some speed on the bench. We felt like that extra position player and going with 14 was gonna assist us the best way we could. But the best way it could to help us go out and win a baseball game.
What has Pfaadt shown you, especially over the last couple of months, that makes you confident you're going to hit the ball tomorrow?
He's been on a search for information. He's been accepting of coaching, and then with each time that he's gone down to AAA, he's come back improved and ready for the next set of challenges. So because of those improvements and because of his ability to command the baseball and walk it around the zone with not just the fastball, with 2 other pitches, we felt like that was going to give us the best opportunity to win baseball games, and that's why we continued to use him. And for being a rookie and learning as fast as he did, it was impressive. And we believe in Pfaadt's overall ability to help us win baseball games, period, plain and simple. But it's probably the growth that he's shown and the toughness that he's shown. With each time we sent him down, accepting of what his responsibility was to help us come back and win a baseball game, it never stopped. It never stopped. I told him, I know at one of our sendouts, I remember telling him, like, don't stop. You're going to come back here and help us win some really big baseball games. I promise you, that's going to happen. You're going to find your way into that role. He's starting game 1 of the wild card series, right? So he earned that.
What was his reaction when you told him yesterday?
We tried to make it be as consistent as possible. Strami probably had the conversation. We don't want it to be any different than it is during the season. Like, you got this game, and this game. So we're trying to be as consistent as possible with all of our moves, all of our conversations, all of our meetings. Everything's been the same as it has been so far during the season.
I know you were thinking about him for Sunday. And he said that he was fine with whatever.
Yeah.
Did you talk to him personally about that possibility?
Strami did that. You talking about on 4 days? How there was a need for that game?
And what did he kind of tell you about him?
Exactly what we always see from him, that there's adaptability, he's ready to make adjustments, and he's the ultimate team player. And he just has an ease to him, an understanding of what he means to be one of 5, or in this case, one of 3 starting pitchers. He's very easygoing when it comes to what we need of him, and he understands what he means to this team and what his role is.
Torey, when you're managing a best of 3, which very few have done, right?
Yeah.
Do you almost go into game 1 like it's an elimination game, or is that too aggressive?
No. I think you've got to manage the best way you can to stop momentum, stop runs, and win baseball games. Period. Plain and simple. And that's what I've learned. I haven't managed in a lot of postseason games, but that's what I've learned in the successful one that we had versus the 3 that weren't successful. That you just got to stop runs. You just got to right now end it, and that might mean somebody coming out of their role. To come out of the bullpen or coming off the bench, to do something that will help us stop a roll or continue on that roll. So it's probably the momentum swings that I'm mostly concerned about, and I want to limit those. But we got to win 2 of 3 baseball games to advance. We know that. We've budgeted all year long about winning series during the season. Nothing changes. These guys know what's at stake now. Everything's raised a little bit more. and they'll be ready for this challenge.
Got news a little earlier, there's no Woodruff this series, or what was your reaction to that?
First of all, I know it's probably heartbreaking for him, his team, this organization, because of what he means to this team. And you always want your competitors' best. So if you do happen to march on, you can say that you did beat their best. But I know the Brewers have some very capable pitchers to step into that next level and those next roles. So, the common thought is to exhale and say, well, Woodruff isn't starting. We're not going to fall for that. They've got very capable replacements, and they're well run. Counts is going to find the best guys to go out there and help them win a baseball game.
Counts was non-committal on game 2.
Yeah.
Are you sort of assuming it'll be Peralta? You think Miley?
We've spent so much time this morning in our own meetings that I haven't had a chance to see where Peralta's days off are. Is it his 5th day? Would it be a 6th day? I don't know if they can bump him up, but we're assuming it's going to be Peralta Miley. Or Miley Peralta. We're not sure. That's what our assumption is, but it came to us right in the middle of our meeting, so I haven't had a chance to get here and dig into it. But it's fine. I know that they'll let us know as soon as they know. But what we know right now is it's Burns, TBA.
So this Brewers team has had a little bit of trouble controlling the run game. How big of an asset do you think your speed could be in this series?
Yeah, I think it's an asset against any team that we're playing. We try to exploit different things, and it triggers us. It gets us moving in a good direction. It gives us energy and helps us score runs. We do it successfully. We do it the right way. Otherwise, it could be detrimental. Outs are precious. So it's just one more thing that you got to stop and budget for to be able to say this is who they are. This is part of their identity, and how are we going to stop it? I don't know what they're going to do. And they'll show their hand as to what they're going to try to do quickly, and we'll be ready. We'll be ready for any type of challenge, but we are going to play our game. We have to. That's who we are.
Torey, you talk about being ready, but for a bulk of your starters, this is going to be their first ever start in a playoff game.
Mm-hmm.
How do you kind of accelerate that learning curve so that way it's not, eyes wide open when
Yeah.
you step on the field for the first time?
Yeah, I mean, I've had a lot of time to think about that. How do you prepare for it, right? How do you get your first chance? How do you get your first opportunity? How can you walk into an arena and say, I have experienced this before? There's got to be a first, and it's a first for a lot of people, not just our pitchers. And I think there's just a certain readiness that they'll all have because they've worked hard to get here. This team is extremely hungry. They have a lot to prove. They're very connected, and we feel like we're very dangerous. So that will be our focus more than saying we have not ever been here before, and I don't want guys to do that. I want them to embrace it. I want them to accept that they haven't been here, but stand on their foundation as to what made them successful and just say, I'm here, I'm ready to compete, and on a granular level, I'm going to do what I do best, and that's just be myself and go out there and do my job. Thank you. That's my Kazan's fault, by the way, you guys, because he cut right into my time. He only gets 6 minutes. 6 minutes of his greatness.
What's up? How are you doing?
Good, how are you?
You guys were moved a little quicker out than did Walker and Dallin and Corbin, I think.
So what will your reaction to getting involved tomorrow? Just where are your emotions at the moment?
It's kind of an honor. They told me that when we were celebrating in the clubhouse, and I was kind of like, "Let's go. Let's give me the ball." Then we get to Gallon game 2, and I think we're looking good.
It was just like mid-celebration, they told you that.
Yeah,
Strong.
yeah. Heat of the moment. It was Hazen. Kind of just a lot of emotions going on. So in the heat of the moment, he told me, and it was even more exciting.
Well, Brendan, what do you attribute, we spoke a couple weeks ago before the game, and, you think about your journey coming out of spring training, and now you're game 1 starter. I mean, how do you connect those dots about, what it took to get here?
Yeah, I think there were a lot of ups and downs this year. Going back to AAA, first big league spring training, going back to AAA, and then being able to debut this year. I think there were it was an exciting year, and now it's kind of hard to believe that we're sitting here starting game one for our team to pick our team up game one and get things rolling.
What do you think your nerves will be like tomorrow?
I'm probably more nervous doing this than I'm not much of a public speaker, so I'm probably more nervous doing this than I will be tomorrow.
But do you feel like there's any things you've learned this year about, I don't know, controlling adrenaline and stuff like that on the mound that maybe you didn't know prior?
Yeah, it's pitching in the minor leagues is nothing like pitching in the big leagues, crowd-wise, and having that adrenaline with you as you go out there. But I think you can use it to your advantage. The bigger the crowd, the bigger the moment. I've always been taught pressure is a privilege, so that's kind of what I take out there and use to my advantage.
Brendan, have you attended a postseason game just as a fan? And if you've attended multiple, is there any one that you were at that really stood out to you?
No, I have not. I went to maybe 2 big league games in my life growing up, so we didn't have one in Louisville. The closest place was Cincinnati, so yeah, only 2. So they definitely weren't postseason games.
Brandon, when you were going through some of those harder moments early in the season, do you think at the time you would have thought it was possible that you could be in this situation starting game one in the playoffs?
Of course. I wouldn't necessarily think starting game one, we have Gallen, we have Merrill, but how things lined up, it's an honor, and I'm going to take that confidence rolling into tomorrow.
You pitched in the AAA championship last year. Did you
Yeah.
feel any pressure in? I know it's a totally different setting, but did you feel any pressure in that outing or anything you can learn from?
Yeah, I think that was a good experience for me. Using that last year, it's kind of just a minor scale of how it's going to be this year, but definitely having that experience last year, trying to pick my team up, get them a win, move on to the next round, that's kind of the same vibe here.
Thanks, Brad.
All right,
Thanks, Brandon.
thanks.
Thank you, Brandon.